It attacked my tent.
Eddie. Be alive, please.
Oh my God!
The wilderness is a wonderful place to escape from everyday life, but isolation also comes with a price. Whether it's a blood-curdling scream echoing through the forest, or a mysterious vehicle stalking you from the shadows by a secluded lake, the rules change when you're alone. If your campsite suddenly turns into a trap, would you trust your instincts and leave? On July 1st, 2021, in Mabua Sehube, Botswana, on the Botswana side of the Kalagadi Transfrontier Park, Robert Hoffmeyer was camping with his brother-in-law, Andy. The camps there were unfenced, meaning wild animals could pass through at any moment. It was their first night. Around 6 a.m., while it was still dark, they stood outside the tent brushing their teeth and preparing coffee. Suddenly, two glowing eyes reflected in the beam of a headlamp. A young male lion stood only about 8 meters away. They rushed to safety as quickly as possible. From inside the vehicle, he grabbed his camera. Then came the moment that made his heart drop. The lion had already walked straight into the tent. Moments later, the animal came out with a pillow held firmly in its mouth.
It was in our tent, and then it came out with sitting under the tree over there.
It settled beneath a nearby tree and slowly chewed on it, the sound of tearing fabric echoing clearly through the quiet camp. After a short pause, the lion turned back again.
I really hope it was your pillow, Andy.
It was.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Mine's a similar color. Yeah, is that yours? It's covered in slobber now. Yeah, that was a bit scary. Okay, now he's gonna go and get my pillow. Oh my dear. We got snacks.
It returned to the tent and pulled out more items, dragging a sleeping bag across the ground like captured prey. The two men stayed completely still in the car, watching everything unfold.
Oh my goodness. Could you just drive a bit closer, maybe? Just keep an eye out for others.
What unsettled him most later was the timing. If he had not looked up at that exact moment, they might have only noticed the lion when it was already standing right beside them.
Is that I had just happened to look in the direction the lion was approaching from. If I had not looked up, or if he had approached from behind the car or tent.
And running from a lion would have been a very bad decision. They moved the vehicle closer to the tent to block the entrance, but the lion continued circling the area, calm yet curious. When it could no longer get inside, it grabbed a camping chair and dragged it away into the bushes.
The lion continued to circle around the tent, so we moved the car as close as we could to the entrance to the tent to stop him from going in there again. While a lion in one's tent is rare, because uninformed visitors leave taps running or bowls of water out for them, rather than leaving them to live normal lives in their natural habitat. Most visitors sleep in rooftop tents or caravans, so they are relatively safe. Once the lion realized he was blocked from entering the tent, he went and grabbed my camping chair and ran off into the bushes and chewed that for a while. Eventually the lion got bored of playing with our things and moved off into the darkness.
You messaged it.
We came back a few hours later to assess the damage.
There's Andy's pillow. Got a bit of lion slobber on it. Otherwise, absolutely fine. Your pillow?
I don't think I can use this again.
Why not? 100%. Let's have a look inside the tent. He's ripped my bag open.
What?
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
He smokes.
The lion kept circling the tent. While a lion entering a tent is unusual, lions often move through camps in the Mabua region. Some visitors leave taps running or place bowls of water outside, unintentionally encouraging animals to return to these unfenced campsites instead of staying within their natural routines. Most travelers sleep in rooftop tents or caravans, which provide better protection. Eventually, after long minutes that felt like hours, the lion disappeared back into the darkness. Later that morning, they checked the damage. The pillow was soaked with lion saliva. The bag had deep tooth marks. The tent fabric showed several small holes. That night, they chose not to sleep in the tent. Instead, they stayed inside the car. Because once a lion has already walked into your tent in the dark, a thin layer of fabric suddenly no longer feels like protection at all. In places where nature still moves freely, a single moment can decide everything. If you had stepped outside that tent and seen those eyes in the dark, what would you have done next? Metro on the Move is a YouTube channel centered on backpacking and hiking trails across the United States. His videos are typically informative and well-produced, but in this particular upload, he captured something that once again could have ended very badly. He was camping in the White Mountains along with several other hikers. It was close to morning when he was suddenly awakened by something hitting the outside of his tent. It did not take long for him to realize that a bear was outside, and it was actively targeting the tent. He immediately started yelling in an attempt to scare it away, and fortunately it worked. At least, at first, the bear backed off, but it did not fully leave the area. That was when he picked up his camera and began recording.
Oh my god, dude. I just got attacked by a bear out here. Oh my god, dude. It's got a claw mark in it. Holy. Oh my god, dude.
Good morning.
Oh my god, dude. That's on my tent, dude. It attacked my tent. Hey! Oh my god.
I'm gonna fall.
Hey, yo! Hey!
Yeah.
Bear attacked my tent. Hey guys, wake up, guys.
He's coming to you guys.
Which way?
Throw rocks.
Hit it. Where is it? Up?
Oh, he's there.
Right where?
Hey, Bear.
Bear!
He's up here.
Oh my god.
He's right there, just next to you. That's me. Behind you. Behind you. Yes. No running.
No, I'm getting in the light.
Get out here, Bear. There he is.
Get away.
Go!
Eventually, they were able to drive the bear away, but it is still alarming how suddenly it chose to attack. It is unsettling to consider what might have happened if the bear had completely torn through the tent and reached him. Thankfully, he was not alone. Several other campers were nearby, and their presence likely helped intimidate the bear and force it to retreat. As for the person who became curious, walked into the darkness to see where the bear had gone, and then had to run back, that was extremely dangerous. In the end, nothing serious occurred. There were only a few claw marks left on the tent and a powerful story to tell. Moments like this show how quickly a calm campsite can turn tense when wildlife moves too close to people. If you woke up and heard claws scraping against your tent in the dark, what would you do first? Brian and Marissa are an adventurous couple who share their travels on YouTube, often documenting remote camping trips, hiking rugged trails, and taking on different outdoor challenges. Their content usually focuses on exploring quiet wilderness areas and finding unique places to camp far from crowded campgrounds. But during one trip, what began as a normal remote camping experience turned into something far more unsettling. The video was uploaded on March 6, 2026. They spent most of the day driving along back roads searching for a secluded campsite. Deep in the Wilpaw Hills, after hours of exploring remote trails and forest roads, they eventually found a quiet lakeside spot that looked ideal for camping. The location felt peaceful and isolated, exactly the kind of place many campers hope to discover when exploring the wilderness.
When you forget your leveling jacks, but you find a brick.
When?
We're camping here. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
She says she's the boss. Get set up.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
They began setting up camp, and everything seemed completely normal. As night fell, they prepared their meals and relaxed after the long drive. Later in the evening, they climbed into their rooftop tent, ready to sleep after a full day of exploring the remote area. But during the night, the situation suddenly shifted, and something unusual began happening around their campsite.
This guy has just pulled up right next to the car, walking around in the water.
There's another car.
Stay here.
That's okay.
They run over our light.
Yeah.
What'd they do to it?
It's just cracked and
No, I meant the GoPro.
I don't know. It was turned around this direction, but they were getting water from a beer can out of here and filling their car with it.
It's what, 12:30?
Yeah. A car came like barreling in here.
He went flying in and went right here, ran over our light, and they were doing something here.
And our GoPro was over here.
Yeah.
And then I heard another door. So I walked down to the end of the road and there's a car just sitting there. So I don't know how long it's been there for.
Are we packing up?
Yes, I don't feel safe here. So.
Not long afterward, they decided to pack up and leave. The decision became even more clear when they noticed another vehicle parked quietly nearby with its lights turned off. The situation felt strange because people usually avoid pulling directly next to a vehicle that is already camping in an isolated area. These individuals, however, did not seem concerned about that at all. From what they could see, the people appeared to be pretending to collect water from the lake. It raised the possibility that they were checking whether anyone was inside the vehicle or possibly doing something else entirely. The behavior felt suspicious enough that staying there no longer seemed like a safe choice. They chose not to remain long enough to find out exactly what those people were doing. In remote camping locations, trusting your instincts can sometimes be the most important safety decision. If you were camping alone at a quiet lakeside campsite, and strangers suddenly arrived in the middle of the night, would you stay and wait to see what happens or leave before things become more dangerous? Dee's Dark Adventures is a YouTube channel run by outdoor explorer and solo night walker Dee, a creator known for documenting quiet night hikes through forests, parks, and isolated trails after sunset. On August 11, 2023, Dee set out to explore a wooded park she had visited many times before. What began as a familiar evening hike soon shifted when she discovered a narrow side trail branching away from a bike path deep inside the forest. Curious about the unfamiliar route, she chose to continue down the remote trail, unaware that the quiet forest walk would soon turn into something far more unsettling.
Oh God, like it's so eerie right where I'm at. Like I hear crickets and stuff. That was metal. I've never been on this trail before. Not familiar with it. So I'm a little weary here. It's gravel at one point. And just dirt now. heard a whistle. I just heard a whistle. Oh, see? You can't see anything.
As the evening progressed, the atmosphere along the trail slowly began to change. Fog thickened between the trees, softening the distance and distorting the shapes of branches and shadows around her. The deeper she moved into the woods, the more the forest seemed to close in around the narrow path. Then a faint sound broke the silence from somewhere inside the tree line. First came a light whistle echoing through the forest, followed by the clear snapping of sticks underfoot. Determined to see what might be beyond the tree line, Dee continued deeper into the woods, unaware that the situation ahead was becoming more disturbing.
Who's out here with me? Ooh, donkey. But I haven't really ran into any. Look. See, man, I'm done with it. No! Stop a minute. I heard something walking behind me there, and now it's on my left side. It was on my right. Let's just keep listening. I don't know what else to do. I'm not going to entertain it. I gotta keep following me, whatever it is.
As she moved farther along the narrow forest trail, the faint snapping of twigs echoed somewhere behind her. Moments later, a distant shout suddenly cut through the trees before fading back into silence. The sound did not seem human. It also did not resemble the movement of an animal. Standing alone in the middle of the forest, Dee suddenly began to run. Her heart pounded as she rushed through the darkness, trying to reach safety beyond the trees. Although Dee managed to escape the woods that night, the questions surrounding the encounter never truly disappeared. Whatever had been moving through the forest remained hidden in the darkness, leaving behind only scattered sounds and a trail that suddenly felt far less familiar than it had at the beginning. Was it another person, somewhere deeper in the woods, hidden beyond the reach of her flashlight? Or could it have been something else entirely? If you were walking alone on a dark forest trail and heard those sounds following you through the trees, would you keep exploring, or would you run the moment the forest seemed to answer back? A camping encounter often begins when everything feels calm. In this video, a couple goes through a night that quickly becomes unsettling. Omar is a vlogger who shares his daily life experiences, often featuring his wife in his content. For his birthday, she surprised him with an overnight stay in a treehouse, something he had always wanted to try. After arriving, they drove along uneasy dirt roads late at night. Eventually, they reached a crate that marked the place where they were supposed to park. The location immediately felt suspicious and uncomfortable. They were instructed to walk behind the crate and follow a narrow path marked by 2 mushrooms leading deeper into the area. As they continued forward, the surroundings grew darker and more isolated. Surrounded by dense forest with very limited visibility, they soon began hearing unusual sounds coming from all directions. The noises could have been caused by an animal moving through the bushes, but there were no visible signs of movement, which made the situation feel unnatural.
Today happens to be my 43rd birthday, and she wanted to surprise me. It's always been a dream of mine to stay in a treehouse, one of Shelly's dreams too. We've never done it before. Upon arrival, we're going through these really creepy dirt roads in the middle of the night, and then we come across this crate.
This is where we were supposed to park, at this crate.
It was pretty shady. I was like, am I gonna get murdered on my birthday? We were walking, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on?
Pitch black. It was
so dark. We kept hearing noises all around us. In fact, I'm gonna play for you a clip of us hearing some creepy things. I don't know, you let me know what you think. It's out there. Oh! What is it?
Do you see anything?
I don't know. Maybe it's a bear.
I hope it's not a bear. I'll be running up those stairs. God, it's so creepy because I can hear noises all...
It's loud. It's getting closer.
I know.
Oh my God.
What? We're literally.
Hello?
It's. Babe.
Whatever it is not afraid of us.
But you hear it. It's still something there.
What if it's... Oh, I'll get on this chair.
Be careful, that might break.
Okay.
Step on the metal of that.
It's getting closer and closer, whatever it is. It's like I hear it, but I don't see it. It's a lot closer now.
God, that is so freaking creepy.
Shine your phone over there.
Oh, God.
It's getting closer and closer. Hello?
Oh, God, babe. What if it's a bear?
Then we
Run like hell?
get up there in our treehouse.
Oh, my God.
It's like right there.
Babe, you're not gonna. You're gonna.
Is that it right there?
Huh? You're gonna fall in the fire if you. Shit. If you like get scared.
It's right there. But I don't see it. I hear it, but I don't see it.
I'm trying to shine my light.
It's like, it's right there.
I know, it's...
The lack of visual confirmation only made the sounds more disturbing. Nothing dangerous ultimately occurred, and they were not harmed. However, the strange sounds left a lasting impression, and they could not shake the feeling that something might have been watching them from the thick underbrush nearby. Sometimes sounds in the dark can have simple explanations, but when you can't see anything, it feels different. Maybe it was nothing. But if you were there, would you stay and find out or leave before it gets closer? This video comes from the YouTube channel Man Dog Wild, where creator Johan M.G. Wild has spent the past 4 years bringing viewers along on wild camping and survival adventures. Known for his deep passion for the outdoors, Johan often showcases the beauty challenges and excitement of living off the land while exploring the remote natural environments. In this case, what begins as a peaceful trip gradually turns into a tense and unexplained camping encounter deep in the wilderness. In this particular video, Johan heads out on another camping trip far from civilization planning to enjoy the quiet setting he's familiar with. But this time, he chooses to try something different. Alongside camping, he experiments with a paranormal investigation, motivated by a strange sense that there may be more to the area than it first seems. It's February 9th, 2025. Johan begins the journey in good spirits, enjoying the clear weather while searching for a suitable spot to set up camp. After exploring for some time, he finds a good location. With camp prepared, he sits down with a hot cup of coffee, taking a moment to relax and take in the calm surroundings before nightfall. As the sun sets, the atmosphere begins to change. The fading light casts long shadows across the area, giving the environment a slightly eerie tone. Johan decides it's the right time to begin his experiment. He opens several ghost hunting apps and tests them, but nothing unusual appears. The readings remain steady, showing no clear signs of paranormal activity. However, his dogs begin behaving differently.
Is it? I hope that's Yeti. TC's off. She's gone. Torch. Birds, these people, they're the things that startle you most out here. When the birds just take off, you just don't expect it. Okay, Agu.
Their sudden alertness makes him uneasy. When a nearby bird suddenly takes flight, he briefly assumes the dogs were reacting to a small animal. But the uneasy feeling doesn't fully disappear. As he continues, something in the atmosphere shifts. The air feels tense, almost heavy.
I just heard some kind of... What the f***? Huh? Yeti? What's going on, Yeds? Yes, sir. Okay, you find that funny? You find that funny? You okay? What's the problem? Okay. I don't know why she's sitting right behind me growling. I'd prefer it if you didn't growl at me, huh? I don't mind during the daytime when we're not in the middle of a dark woods. You're sitting right behind me growling. What is that?
Johan starts to feel that the sounds around him might not be entirely natural. His dog reacts again, and the noises coming from the dark woods make the situation more uncomfortable. Even without a clear evidence from the apps, he continues investigating, trying to remain calm and focused. Eventually, the pressure becomes too much.
Huh?
Ralph.
Your name is what? Ralph. Good timing, Ralph. I was just concentrating on something. What is this? I'm not really right where I was about to sit. It's hair. Dark hair. Okay, Ralph. Are you the dark figure that was watching us within the woods the last time we were here? Eddie. Be alert, please. Walking around in there. We're right by this little trail. It's good. Can you explain to me moving around, Ralph? Is that you? I don't know.
I'm right here.
That, I don't know why the dogs aren't reacting to whatever's moving around in there. And why is that so zoomed in? Jesus, they are not reacting. So Ralph, you're right here with me. Do you want me to leave? Oh, it's such a bad headache.
I can't leave.
You can't leave. I know. So it was you I was speaking to earlier when you were saying you were stuck. Why can't you leave? Well, because you're stuck. Do you want me to leave? Okay. Is this someone else I'm speaking to? What is your name?
Sinful.
Sinful.
It's dark.
Definitely something walking around in there.
I'm not sure how.
You're not sure how to leave. How are you not hearing that, Yeti? What the f?
With strange device responses and unexplained sounds surrounding him, Johan decides to stop the investigation. He returns to his shelter and lies down, but the uneasy feeling remains. Sleep is difficult, and the strange atmosphere continues to linger. In the end, what started as a peaceful trip becomes a mysterious camping encounter filled with uncertainty. There are no clear answers, only questions left behind by the experience. If you were there, would you keep investigating, or leave before something gets closer?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.
Trying to turn it into a house.
This angle?
Yeah, just be careful. It's a nightmare in there.
Sucks. Bubby.
There's definitely a trail going straight through here.
I mean, if I had something
did not like that.
The wilderness is a place of peace, but sometimes the silence hides a much darker reality. From an ATV rider nearly decapitated by a hidden wire trap, to a solo traveler waking up to intruders trying to hijack his entire home on wheels, the line between adventure and survival is thinner than you think. If you found yourself caught in these chilling encounters, would you have the instincts to make it out alive? On September 4th, 2025, the action-adventure twins, a channel run by two identical brothers known for exploring caves, tunnels, and abandoned underground spaces, set out on another unusual mission. This time, their destination was a quiet suburban neighborhood. Hidden beneath the homes of unsuspecting residents, they uncovered an entire house built inside a cave. The deeper they went, the clearer it became. Someone had tried to build a life into the rock itself, only to disappear, leaving the project frozen in time.
Check it out, me and Amanda are out here in the middle of the woods, and there's this crazy cave that's been turned into a house, or some guy's been trying to turn it into a house. Look at that retro fridge.
Yeah, what's in it?
Good question. Somebody's put a brick in front of it.
Probably something good in there.
I see why they put the brick in front of it. It's an actual fireplace in a cave. This is like the kitchen area, it looks like. You got all sorts of electrical runs, Smurf tube.
Look at the masonry back there.
This is well done.
He was doing a good job.
Yeah. This is like the little plumbing access over here.
Yeah.
There's a dungeon down there. We're gonna have to go down there.
I would want to duck down.
What?
To get to my rooms, though, you know?
Well, what is this a room?
It's a bathroom. Look, there's a shower.
The shower would be right here. There's a drain.
Like either a shower or a toilet.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's definitely a drain here. Oh, yeah, this does look more like a shower. He got it about 80% of the way there.
Look at all the bricks. It's really nice. Like, really
yeah.
Or what is that? Cement?
I think it's just concrete, isn't it? He has a lot of electrical boxes. He was about to put a lot of lighting in here.
The exploration began immediately. Within moments, the twins found themselves inside a cold chamber lined with brick walls and remnants of electrical wiring, clear signs of human effort shaping the underground space. A vintage refrigerator stood near a stone fireplace, both oddly preserved, as if the builders had planned to return. Farther inside, they discovered what appeared to be a partially completed bathroom, complete with pipes and drains carved directly into the cave floor.
This step right here is really small. You have to be careful and watch your step.
Oh, this is crazy. It gets even bigger down here. It's pretty cool.
How would you keep the moisture out of here? That's the question.
I think that's why he abandoned it. This is crazy. This has to be the bedroom. This is where I would put the bed. It looks like you could literally just walk in a natural cave over here.
It does.
That's insane. And there's some crazy white formations.
Look at this. It's a cow bone. Or a human
Oh.
bone. This is so pretty.
I know.
I wonder what that was going to be.
I hear water.
Me too.
He has like a river running under his house. Yeah. Oh, there's a hole over there.
We're going through that hole, aren't we?
Yes. Because that's where the water's coming from.
As they moved deeper, the air grew heavier. A damp smell filled the space as the faint sound of running water echoed through the tunnels. One of them noted that there might be a river beneath them, his voice fading into the darkness. The walls began to glisten. Water dripped from above, marking the passage of time since anyone had last been there.
I don't know if this is actually possible. Oh, there's a pool of water down there. Head first might not have been the best way. But it worked.
A lot of mud.
Lots of mud. I see why he tried to seal this area off. kind of goes in every direction. Now, do we get into the water or? Oh my god. Oh, we hit the river again.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign.
Wow, yeah, I don't think we'd fit in there.
You don't think?
We better keep going in the mud.
Oh, wow, are you sure?
Yeah, there's formations hanging down. Those will scrape your back right.
Goodness, you're almost there.
I think I'm gonna get stuck.
Just hold your breath.
My head's going underwater.
Your feet's close, right?
Uh-oh.
Can you lift your feet?
They're stabbing my back.
Uh-oh.
Don't go in there.
Nothing?
You can't get through. It was a nightmare in there.
I see what you mean, though. Misangle?
Yeah, just be careful. It's a nightmare in there.
Oh, goodness, this is a lot. This thing is like a knife.
Yeah, I know. You already look like you're stuck.
Bad. Okay, go back.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, are we crawling from here?
Wait, are we?
I don't know.
Are we crawling down the river now?
So,
I think this is the end of the line.
we did bring a bunch of spare lights, right? It opens up.
That's always good news. The water's the way.
Oh, look! Did we fit through that whole direction?
Oh, yeah, well, there's bricks. Yeah, let's go that way. And now we're back.
They squeezed through a narrow passage that tightened with every inch forward. The light dimmed to a faint glow around their helmets. The air became colder and thicker, each breath louder than the last. One wrong move, and the rock around them felt ready to close in. When they finally reached a small open chamber, the sound of rushing water filled the space like a steady pulse deep underground. Viewers later speculated about who had once lived or planned to live there. Some believed it was the work of an ambitious builder from decades ago, while others imagined a hidden shelter, possibly an unfinished escape. Many admitted the tight spaces alone were enough to trigger fear just watching. When the team eventually resurfaced, covered in mud and catching their breath, they realized the cave sat directly beneath someone's backyard. Above-ground life continued as normal, quiet, and unaware. And it leaves one question. How many hidden homes are still buried beneath the ground we walk on every day? February 2024, near Eagle River, Alaska. Maria, the creator of Roaming Reckless, drove her old Land Rover deep into the snow with her dog, Blue. Her channel usually documents quiet overland trips across America, camping, cooking, and surviving the cold. This time, she planned a simple 3-day stay at the Rapids Camp Yurt along the historic Iditarod Trail. But Alaska had other plans. What began as a calm winter retreat would soon turn into 3 days of smoke, fear, and silence.
We're going to a yurt that we have to hike to, 2 miles in the middle of the woods. This is going to be dry camping, so we've got to take all of our supplies with us. There's going to be nothing there for us but firewood. Oh, this thing's so heavy, oh my gosh. We're starting up here. Our yurt is down here. We're 15 minutes into our walk. My back is already killing me, so gotta love scoliosis. Oh my god, this is insane. I actually feel like I'm in Narnia. Like, come on. Rapids Camp Yurt, heck yeah. Here you go, bub. Just in time before dark. Oh my gosh. Someone remind me to get a hiking backpack, a proper one. Thanks. This wood is kind of wet, which is not good. Now we're cooking. I've been working on the fire for like 2 hours at this point, and I am running out of fire starters. I really don't know what else to do. It's like all of the wood is wet and nothing will. I've been trying to restart the fire every time, like tinier and tinier. It only burns with a fire starter, and then as soon as it wears out, and there's so much smoke in here, it's like not even funny. So it's just like now my pickle is that it's pitch dark. While I could go back to Poe, it's pretty early in the night still. Do I really want to walk 45 minutes straight in the pitch dark through the Alaskan wilderness? No, I don't. But I can't stay here if there's no fire. What do I do? This sucks. I give the fire one last ditch effort using the one log left I have that I think is semi-not wet. So we'll see what happens. See how smoky it is in here? I feel like Blue and I are gonna have to make the trek back to Poe because I just can't risk the fire not working and then Blue getting cold in the middle of the night. I think Blue and I are just gonna have to go back to Poe.
Maria packed everything she believed she would need: food gear and layers for the cold. Blue moved ahead as they followed a narrow snow-packed trail winding through the white forest. The walk was only 2 miles, but by the first mile her back was already aching under the weight of her supplies. She described the landscape as Narnia, a quiet world of ice and mountains that made the effort feel worthwhile. When the yurt finally came into view through the fading light, it looked ideal, a small round shelter standing alone beneath the peaks. Inside, there was a wood stove, a bunk bed, and what seemed like enough warmth to get through the night. But as the hours passed, the wood wouldn't burn properly. Smoke filled the space thick and gray until her eyes stung and her breathing became difficult. With temperatures dropping and Blue beginning to shiver, she had no choice but to leave everything behind and walk back through the darkness.
This sucks. I've never been so happy to see this truck in my life. Oh my gosh, it smells like smoke. Let's pack up and clean this place out. Frozen solid. Good thing we didn't stay last night. There's a sign in here talking about an aggressive bear in the area, and granted, bears are hibernating right now, but they do come out of hibernation every once in a while, and we're in aggressive bear territory, so. This says, in recent weeks, a black bear with bad behavior attempted to gain access to all 3 yurts. They had to cancel reservations for weeks, so. Wish us luck.
She carried only a flashlight, a knife, and her fear. The forest was silent, the kind of silence that makes you question whether you are truly alone. By the time she reached her truck, the relief felt immediate, the heater running blue curling up beside her on the seat. The next morning, she returned to the yurt. Inside, a notice on the wall warned campers about a black bear that had recently moved through the area. Later, her heater failed. Her backup power stopped working, and she ended the trip sore, exhausted, and grateful it hadn't turned worse. Locals later reminded her how dangerous Eagle River can be. Stories of hikers going missing of animals, waking too early in winter hungry and disoriented. One viewer commented that the uneasy feeling she had while walking back wasn't fear, but instinct. Maybe they were right. Maybe the smoke that forced her out of the yurt wasn't just bad wood, but Alaska's quiet way of telling her to leave. This video comes from the YouTube channel Lisa's Escapades, uploaded on September 8th, 2024. Lisa lives an off-grid lifestyle, traveling solo and spending extended time in the outdoors. But being alone in remote nature always means your vulnerability is higher. She set out on a trail she had been planning to hike for some time. Early into the trek, she reached an area known for a reported Bigfoot sighting, and almost immediately the atmosphere seemed to change.
So I just got here, and out this way, Right behind one of those trees, I saw something really tall and dark. And I got my binoculars out to look at it closer, and it's gone. So that's kind of weird. It's all flooded out there too. So there was a sighting over here earlier this year or late last year. I can't remember the date. So that's interesting. So I keep hearing drum beats off this way. Now there is a road out here, but the drum beats I keep hearing have been for about, so I don't think it's a car going by. And there's no places to park around here, so that's kind of odd. I'm smelling something really nasty. It could be the standing water, but I don't know, it smells like trash.
The forest went quiet. Unfamiliar sounds echoed faintly in the distance, along with a foul odor she couldn't clearly identify. The deeper she walked, the heavier the surroundings felt. Low growls surfaced at times, followed by stretches of silence that didn't seem natural.
I hear dogs barking at something, and it sounded like there was a big thump, and then they started barking, like a growl too. Where are these dogs coming from? Man, they were upset over something. It looks like straight through here, it looked like something big walked right through that grass, because it's all mashed down. See, it looks like a path going straight through here.
Step by step, she continued forward. Yet the feeling of being watched grew stronger. With strange sounds circling her, she became convinced that someone or something was following her through the woods.
There's definitely a trail going straight through here. And if you keep going that way, you'll run into the Florida Trail. I believe there's a campsite over there too. Like a remote campsite where you can camp on the Florida Trail. I keep hearing something clanking together.
She pushed on, determined to complete the trail, but that presence never seemed to fade. Even after she made it out, she remained certain she had not been alone. Maybe it was wildlife reacting to her movement, or maybe isolation heightened every sound. If you felt that steady sense of being followed on a lonely trail, would you turn back or keep walking and hope it was nothing? This video comes from the YouTube channel Rachel and Tommy uploaded on August 18th, 2022. Rachel and Tommy are known for their van life travels, often choosing quiet woodland areas to camp with their dog. This trip began no differently, arriving at sunset, setting up camp, lighting a fire, and settling into the stillness of the evening. But that calm didn't last.
Oh, so where we are is actually kind of close to the road. Yeah. Might be able to see it. It was just getting dark, so we had to find a place. I have a feeling that it's not going to stay busy, because as soon as the cars go by, you can hear
nothing. I've been hearing some strange noises, but it's probably just the traffic and...
Yeah, but I don't think there's any traffic back out in there. I don't think.
I thought I heard an owl a while ago.
Yeah. This road is busier than I thought it was going to be. Thank you. Go away.
Unusual sounds began echoing through the trees. Even though they were parked near a main road, something about it felt off. They tried to brush it off, focusing instead on the warmth of the fire and the comfort of routine. Later, people nearby needed help with a flat tire.
So we're sitting there, fixing to go lay down, and we heard somebody had a flat down here, so I'm going to walk down here and see if they need help. Anything I can do to help them, because this is the absolute middle of nowhere. So we go back to the van and get our 4-way lug wrench out of it, because they don't have one. Good thing I came down here. It's just the kind thing to do. You know, would I want that to be us stuck somewhere and somebody could at least offer to help, and they didn't? I'm gonna run down and see if I'm pretty sure I have a 4-way here in the van. There's a van back up over here.
Tommy stepped in to assist alongside others. Still camping near traffic in the woods at night always comes with vulnerability. Anyone can approach. Anyone can watch. Even during simple acts of kindness, the quiet risk never fully fades. Maybe the noises were nothing more than passing cars and moving branches, or maybe the setting made every sound feel amplified. If you were camped in the dark and strangers stopped nearby, would you step in to help right away, or pause and protect your space first? The next unsettling video comes from Stealth Camp Sweethearts, a US-based couple who share outdoor adventures focused on stealth camping remote locations and immersive experiences in nature. It is February 10th, 2026 at Peaceful Hills Retreat in Tennessee, United States. Michael and Ashley finish setting up their secluded campsite. As they relax near the fire, they notice a bright light in the sky. It remains still for a brief moment, then suddenly disappears, without moving across the sky like a plane or helicopter would.
Can you imagine how much wood we would have to find? Because you gotta think, that was a little bit of wood. I mean, if I had something...
Did not like that. What? What is that?
Huh?
Shit's getting crazy. We heard a gunshot and now whatever animal that is going nuts.
Coyote? With a bunch of guys yelling.
No, it was an animal. I think it was coyote.
Well, it was crazy though.
Yeah, it was. I don't hear no more.
I can hear 4.
Later, while trying to restart the campfire, they hear unusual high-pitched sounds coming from the forest.
What the? Do y'all hear that?
The noises do not resemble normal conversation and seem to carry through the trees.
Did you hear that? There was a noise out there.
Well, you bring Bigfoot over here. Do y'all believe in Bigfoot?
I do.
I mean, I believe in Bigfoot. But you bring his ass over here, what the hell am I gonna do?
It's been a good birthday, though. Once this fire goes out, we'll probably be going to bed. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Once this fire goes out, we'll probably be going to bed. What do you think?
Sounds good.
More strange sounds emerge from deeper within the woods. They mention Bigfoot jokingly, but both stay alert, watching the tree line and listening closely in case something is nearby.
That was the first noise I heard because I got up to go pee. This is like 1 o'clock in the morning. Then when I get back in the tent, I hear, ah! And I was thinking if that would have happened while I was out here peeing in the dark, I would have died. But it wasn't long, maybe 10 minutes after that, I heard like roaming around the campground area over here.
I didn't hear nothing. I slept good. I was warm.
Yeah, he was snoring. I got hot actually while we were sleeping, kicked my socks off.
Our mattress lost a little air.
Yeah.
Hopefully it don't have a hole in it.
During the night, one of them hears movement around the campsite after returning to the tent. By morning, they talk about the cold night and minor issues with their bedding. The birthday camping trip turns into a night marked by subtle but uneasy moments. If you were camping in the dark and heard those sounds, would you stay relaxed or start questioning what was really out there? In February 2018, a YouTuber named Greg Harris uploaded what appeared to be a simple GoPro video, just another weekend ride through the woods near Naples, Florida. The footage opened like many other ATV clips online, the steady hum of the engine trees rushing past and the calm rhythm of off-road freedom. But what began as a routine ride quickly turned into a near-fatal encounter that still chills anyone who has seen it. As Greg sped along the narrow trail, everything seemed normal, until in a split second something crossed the path. A metal wire pulled tight between two trees caught his helmet and yanked him backward with violent force. The impact brought him to an immediate stop. If that wire had been just a few inches lower, it could have severed his neck. Instead, the tension snapped the wire as it caught beneath his chin guard, saving his life by pure luck. Greg's foot was trapped under the shifter, but he managed to pull himself free. Later in the video description, Greg wrote, "Be careful, people. I was nearly decapitated by a metal wire tied between trees on the trails I ride. Luckily, it broke it caught under my helmet and my foot was stuck under the shifter." For anyone familiar with off-road trails, this was more than just a freak accident. Incidents like this are not unheard of. Sometimes angry landowners set up traps to deter riders from the trespassing. Other times, it's retaliation for noise or damage to property. But in the darkest cases, people do it simply out of malice for no reason at all. When Greg returned to inspect the site, there were no tracks, no tools, no clues, just a snapped strand of wire hanging between the trees. Whoever placed it there knew exactly where to position it for maximum harm. Greg's video sparked widespread discussion among outdoor riders and law enforcement. Some believed it was a targeted act, possibly intended to deter ATV riders from using the trail. Others thought it was random, a cruel prank with potentially deadly consequences. Whatever the motive, it revealed an unsettling truth: the real danger in the woods isn't always wild animals. Behind the wheel of his trusted camper van, Adam, the creator of the channel AD's Ventures, has built his life around freedom on the open road. His channel documents the highs and lows of European van life, capturing everything from breathtaking landscapes to the quiet solitude that comes with living full-time on the move. But on one cold night, parked at a motorway service station, that freedom turned into fear. What began as a peaceful night's rest quickly became a reminder that sometimes even your home on wheels isn't as secure as it feels.
So I originally rocked up to the previous services down the motorway and I started to go to bed as usual. In fact, it was a very nice, calm, relaxing evening until around about 3 a.m, maybe half 2, something like that. There I was dreaming the most beautiful dream, probably about pittobreds and dolphins and all that. And I was awoken, half awoken, I was in a bit of a daze, by some voices that were literally about 2 centimetres away from my back door. Just to clarify, I mean the rear doors on the van. So I hit the button to turn my CCTV on, and what did I see? 2 hooded, semi-balaclavaed youths right next to the van, and they walked around to the side here. Now in my head, I'm thinking, are they going to break into the Pigeon? Are they going to break into the Pigeon? By the way, for those who don't know, my van is called the Pigeon. And I got in my head to the part where I said, are they going to break into? And then I heard them try that. So in my confused, half asleep state, I just shouted, "Pigeon!" At the same time, I jumped out of bed. I pulled back this curtain, which separates off the cab, so I could see out the windows. And sure enough, right by this door, there were 2 guys trying to break into my van.
It was around 3 a.m. when Adam woke to the sound of whispering voices so close they seemed right against the walls of his van. Half asleep and disoriented, he reached for the control that activated his CCTV cameras. What he saw made his blood run cold. 2 hooded men, their faces partially covered, standing just inches from his back door. Still groggy, he wondered if they were checking nearby vehicles. But then came the sound of a door handle being pulled. Instinct took over. Adam jumped from his bed, pulled back the curtain separating his sleeping area from the cab, and shouted the first word that came to mind, his van's nickname, Pigeon. The sudden movement startled the intruders. Caught in the light from inside the van, the two men froze for a moment, then ran off into the night. Shaken but unharmed, Adam kept watching his CCTV feed, unable to fall back asleep.
And at this point, they obviously saw me open up the curtain and they scarpered off into the night. I do have the entire thing caught on camera, by the way, so I'll show you that shortly as well. But then after that, I tried to go back to sleep, but I just kept looking up at my CCTV to check if they're out there. And in the end, I realised I'm not going to sleep too good. So I had to get back up. I had to drive to the next services along, which is where we currently are, parked this time closer to the building and under some light. And I got about half a night's sleep. Now, all of the footage of this is on my CCTV system. I've got 4 cameras that are recording at all times. But to get it off of that CCTV system, I've got to put it onto a memory stick, then onto my laptop, then convert the files to MP4 so I can put it in the editing software, and then we will watch it together. Why is there an alarm set for now? Anyway, we'll get to all that later. Right now, I just want to get the hell out of here. I want to get to Prague. I want to park up at a nice campsite in a safe, secure location, and then, well, depending on the weather, go exploring. But I'm going to eat my porridge, drink my coffee, hit the road, and we will catch up with this situation shortly.
Eventually, he packed up and drove to another service area, parking under bright lights closer to the main building. Anything to feel safe again. Later, when he reviewed the footage in Prague, what he found was disturbing. The two men had not come across his van by chance. The video showed them circling the vehicle, first looking through the driver's window, then lingering at the back while pretending to talk and smoke, acting casual in case anyone passed by. Finally, one of them crouched near the passenger side, hiding his hands as he worked on the lock. That was the moment Adam had shouted, and they fled.
Okay, so this is obviously when I heard their voices. Oh no, they're going straight up to... They're going straight up to my driver's window and they're looking in it. I swear I heard them right behind the van though. So he's staring right in the driver's window, trying to see what he can see. I think he touched something there, did he? Okay, this is the point. So now they've gone round the back of the van. Now remember, at this stage, I'm still fast asleep, right? So let's pull up the back of the van. So enter the thieves around the rear of the van. They take a quick look at the back. One of them's smoking something. Maybe he's innocent. Maybe they were just smoking. Well, I heard them, that's where I heard them talking, and I was sort of in a daze, and I was like, what is going on? They've gone back round to the other side of the van now, so let's pull that camera back up. Actually, no, it definitely wasn't innocent, because I remember I heard them actually touch the handle. Oh yeah, look, there we go. Right, he's bent down there. What's he doing? Yeah, he's trying to do something there, and that was where I shouted pigeon. Look at that! Right, let's just rewind that again. Right, so he's keeping an eye on that lorry that's leaving, and he's bent down doing something by my van. He must be trying to hide the fact that his hand's like touching the handle. But this is the point where I heard the handle go. And I'm half asleep and I shout pigeon. And I rush up and I open up this curtain here. And then you can see as soon as I do that, he says something to his mate. And they scarper off. So if we go back to the front camera, we should... Yeah, there we go. So that's them. As soon as they know that I'm in the van, they're now just disappearing off into the night. As though nothing's happened.
At first, Adam believed they were trying to steal items from the van tools or equipment. But after reviewing the footage more carefully, he realized the truth was far worse. They hadn't focused on the rear doors or storage compartments. Their attention was entirely on the driver's side, the ignition. These weren't minor thieves. They were trying to take the entire van, his home, his livelihood, his life on the road. The incident served as a clear warning to solo travelers. Even in a busy service area, you're never truly alone. What saved Adam wasn't luck, but his quick reaction and the security system that recorded every moment. The video left viewers unsettled. If this could happen to an experienced traveler like Adam, it could happen to anyone. How many times have people parked in the dark, assuming the night is safe? Was this just an opportunistic attempt or something planned, watching for hours before making a move? Either way, Adam's story is a sobering reminder when your home has wheels. Safety isn't about where you park, it's about how quickly you can respond.
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.
Hello?
You see? Hear it? This is what I see. All black.
From haunted ruins to the deep wild, some encounters turn a peaceful trip into a fight for survival. Whether it's chilling laughter in a graveyard or a silent predator stalking your camp, the unknown is always watching. If you were trapped in the dark with something close by, would you stay or run before it's too late? For Franco, camping encounters have always been a central part of his content. But one frightening night made him question everything. He is a creator many viewers already know from his YouTube channel, Franco TV. On his channel, Frank brings his audience along on eerie journeys to some of the most unsettling locations imaginable, places most people would never consider visiting. Recognized for his fearless approach and constant curiosity about the supernatural, he explores haunted sites hoping to uncover mysteries that blur the boundary between the living and the dead. Based on local accounts, restless spirits are said to still roam the grounds, unable to find peace. Over time, visitors have reported hearing human-like voices echoing through the darkness, while others claim to have seen shadowy figures moving between the gravestones. The cemetery is also believed to be the site of unusual nighttime ceremonies, possibly linked to dark rituals. Because of these disturbing details, the area is widely avoided after sunset. But for Frank, that danger only adds to the intrigue. Determined to find answers, he returns to document what might be hidden there. On September 1st, 2024, Frank arrives shortly after nightfall. Darkness has already settled in, and the only light comes from distant street lamps casting long shadows across the cemetery.
Because apparently this has been like a hot spot. It's a very famous witch that pretty much passed away, and people come to serve this area. And I want to see if they're even doing a ceremony now. Or tonight. I'm not going directly to it just yet because that looks like it was just lit. At least I think it is. I got more candles in here. Alright, before I go inside, I want to go around this place.
During a previous visit, he had come across a group performing a ritual, so this time he carefully scans the surroundings to ensure he is alone. While candles in a cemetery are not uncommon, several appear freshly lit immediately, raising concern.
Because I have a feeling I got somebody yelling. Alright. I just got the sound of somebody yelling over here. I'm gonna come from this side over here. See, that's what I'm afraid of, man. I mean, I'm not expecting this place to be empty at any means. It will do good. I got something in the back there. I just saw what looked like a light. Slightly. Right there. I knew it. That is where I heard the scream coming from. I can't stick myself out. I'm gonna stick the camera out. What the hell are you doing? I'm gonna switch it to color. This is what I see. All black. See if they light another candle. That's one. The last time I was here, I saw like 7 people.
As he moves deeper into the graveyard, the tension begins to rise. He notices what seems to be a single figure in the distance, though he cannot be certain. The atmosphere feels off-heavy and watchful. Unsure of what the figure might be doing, he changes direction, trying to avoid any direct encounter. But the farther he goes, the more the situation intensifies.
I'm gonna see if I can start staying a little bit more inside the tomb area, just so that way I'm not so obvious. So I am definitely hearing something. I'm still trying to see if I can see any lights or candles or anything for where I seen that person walking through here. And look right over there. Just saw something dark, and then they went right into the tomb. Look at the tomb. Look, you see it? There is something or someone inside that tomb right now. They're just watching me, I think. I don't want to approach it because, one, I don't know what they're up to, and two, I don't know how many people are in there. And that is a head. I'm hoping it comes out a little bit more. So I am now approaching the area where I seen that kid. What's the creepiest part is that this whole area in the back is known for deceased children, the children that passed away. So to see a kid running through there like nothing at that specific area to this graveyard kind of freaked me out.
Then, breaking the silence, a faint sound carries through the darkness, a child's laughter.
I hear what sounds like a kid laughing. I want to see if you guys can hear it. Hold on. What is that? You see? Hear it? Look. Oh, that is so creepy.
The sound is distant yet distinct, sending a chill through him. He pauses, listening closely, but the cemetery quickly falls silent again. With only the faint hum of the nearby city in the background, he continues forward, unaware that the most unsettling moment is still ahead.
I really feel like I'm being watched right now. Down this area. I'm gonna keep making my way forward. I hate this area. This area is by far the creepiest for me. Oh, what the? There's someone just leaning up right there against the wall. I was not fucking expecting that. That scared the shit out of me. I'm probably not gonna go up that way. All black. Was wearing all black. That looked like a shadow.
Soon after, he sees a woman sitting completely still against a wall of tombstones. She does not move or respond, and her presence feels unnatural. The stillness alone is enough to make the moment deeply disturbing. Despite his unease, he continues moving, hoping to reach a safer part of the cemetery. But instead, that choice draws him further into the unknown.
It's definitely coming from this area. Oh my God.
¿Qué haces acá?
Yo estoy mirando para fantasmas grabando.
Pero acá nadie puede entrar de noche.
Yo tiene permiso para una muchacha.
Sí, es peligroso, acá roba.
Sí, pero ¿qué tú estás haciendo aquí?
Yo estoy buscando a mi marido, no lo encuentro, está muerto, pero no está. Yo quisiera que tú me ayudes a buscarlo.
¿Tu esposo?
Ajá.
¿Dónde?
No lo encuentro.
¿Él está caminando por aquí o está...?
Está muerto, pero no está. Yo vivo acá.
Ya.
Acá. Nadie puede vivir, entrar acá de noche. Es muy peligroso. Tienes que irte porque no acá pasa una maldición para ti.
No, sí, no quiero problemas, nada de así.
Vete, antes que te hagan algo.
Ya, no te preocupes. Ya está, gracias. She's just staring at me. Yeah, no, solamente soy confundido. Sí, yeah, gracias. I am so confused for what the hell just happened right now. She just came out of nowhere and told me to get out. And that sounded like the same lady that I seen the last time where she was like, Niño. I don't know. She said something last time, but she said she was looking for her husband. I'm looking for my husband, but now he's not there. Did he just wander off? No, he's dead. And I'm like, so how are you looking for your husband? And it looked like she kind of got irritated or upset at me. Oh my God. I'm just trying to investigate in this area. And she scared the shit out of me.
Eventually, the tension becomes too much to ignore. Frank decides to leave, shaken by everything he has experienced. The laughter, the silent figure, and the eerie presence of others all suggest that something is not right about this place. If you were in that situation, would you stay and uncover the truth, or leave before it becomes too late? Casey Anderson is the explorer behind the YouTube channel Endless Venture. He is recognized for traveling through remote environments and documenting real outdoor experiences. In March 2026, one of his trips took an unexpected turn during a camping encounter in Botswana's Okavango Delta, a region widely known for its dense and dangerous wildlife.
Surround the fresh tracks of buffalo. And Kane says they're going to a place he calls Mupani Pan. Turns out that's where he planned on us staying the night tonight. They've earned the nickname Black Death. But turns out it's mostly the lone bulls, something that they call Dugga Boys, that are the most dangerous. But even the large herds can be dangerous in the right situation. We've got to remain cool and calm.
One of the defining aspects of this trip was that he wasn't alone. He was accompanied by a cameraman, a local guide, and a close friend. After arriving at their campsite, they set up their tent and gathered around a fire. They discussed the risks of nearby wildlife, unaware that they were already much closer to real danger than they believed.
Elephants are in camp. But when you sleep next to a pan, which is the only water hole in the area, I think we can expect some visitors tonight.
During the night, unfamiliar sounds briefly woke them. Fortunately, nothing occurred at that moment. By morning, they continued their journey, but what they encountered next could have easily become deadly.
Brave lions. In the distance, we're trying to close the gap on them. Here, just on the other side of this bush. We got lions coming our way. There are 9 lions out there. Mostly lionesses, with a couple of young males. They've all spotted us in the bush and are slowly, deliberately stalking in closer. As this young male creeps in, you can see the rest of the pride lining up behind him. And while we're locked in on the male in front of us, another one quietly slipped in from behind. If you look over my shoulder in the shot,
you can see all 9 lions. We are completely surrounded by a pride of African lions.
Being surrounded by a pride of lions is not something anyone would want to face. If the lions had decided to attack, there would have been no clear escape. Thankfully, the lions remained calm and no one was harmed. This became one of the most intense wildlife encounters they had ever experienced, and it is unlikely they will forget it anytime soon. Sometimes a situation can seem under control until it suddenly changes. It may appear calm at first, but small shifts can alter everything. If you were that close, would you stay and watch, or leave before things take a worse turn? This clip is from Saskadrenaline, a YouTube channel focused on hunting outings where wildlife usually maintains a safe distance from humans. In most of their videos, animals stay far enough away to be observed without any real danger. But in this instance, things shifted unexpectedly. What began as a routine sighting quickly turned into a tense situation once the bear became aware it wasn't alone.
What the heck are you doing?
Just don't move.
Encountering a large bear at close range can be extremely dangerous. Even if the animal appeared curious or non-aggressive, the situation still carried significant risk. Fortunately, the bear eventually redirected its attention toward a nearby barrel. That brief moment of distraction gave the hunters a narrow opportunity to back away and reach safety. Sometimes animals lose interest and move on, but other times the outcome comes down to timing and luck. If you suddenly realized a bear had spotted you from just a few steps away, what would you do next? Connor Hobbs runs a channel where he shares videos of himself, hiking mountains, camping, and surviving in a variety of wilderness settings. His content is consistently well-produced, and many of his trips are highly intense. In this particular video, however, something happened that could have turned very dangerous under different circumstances. He had planned a 3-day trip along Canada's northernmost highway, aiming to test the reliability of his 1992 Toyota 4Runner while camping in a tent during sub-zero conditions. At the start, everything seemed to be going exactly as planned.
We're just coming into Tombstone Territorial Park here, and it looks way crazier in the snow. Absolutely beautiful. We're gonna have to find some wood for my wood stove that we're gonna camp in tonight. And if that fails, then we're gonna have to cut it down a tree before we run out of trees. I don't know how sparse trees get up in the Arctic, but I guess we're gonna find out.
The first day went smoothly. He drove along the highway, set up camp in his heated tent, and made it through the night without any issues. The next morning, he woke up, packed his gear, and continued down the road. But this time, he soon found himself in a somewhat risky situation.
I've been thinking about when I'm gonna turn around or where I'm gonna camp. There's not a single tree around here. So, I'm gonna turn around here. There's no point in going further north. This is the last mountain range until we get like way north, but you have to cross a ferry over the Mackenzie, which the Mackenzie's gonna be frozen soon, so not really worth the hassle of going up there and possibly getting stuck either after the ferry or before the ferry. We're gonna find a place to camp. Look at how far north we are. Whoa!
While looking for a place to camp, he left the main road to avoid being near other people. That was when things began to go very wrong. On a snowy off-road path, he spotted a patch of frozen water ahead and decided to drive over it, assuming it wasn't too deep. Unfortunately, that choice led to a serious problem.
Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. We really just fucked up. No, 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 no. Okay, we need to build a rope system to get out of here. We need to build a rope system. So stupid. There's probably water getting in the fuel tank now. We're gonna have to get out some rope stuff. I got a beefy rope. So dumb! Oh man, I'm so dumb. How am I gonna get myself... This is f***ed up. I feel like it's like self-tensioned right now. This is fucked up, man. I'm gonna try to get the axe out.
He tried to get the vehicle unstuck on his own, but he wasn't very successful. If this had happened in a more populated area, it might not have been such a major issue. But this took place in a remote location with below freezing temperatures. Luckily, he wasn't too far from the main road, so he chose to walk there in hopes of finding help.
Now this guy's stopping, oh boy. I fucked up, man, I'm stuck over there. I broke through some ice. Could you tell somebody in the next town? I need a winch or something, like a come along or something. Yeah, it's sunk into the back, broke through some ice. All right, thank you. All right, he's gonna call in the squad.
After waiting for a while, a single truck eventually came by and fortunately it stopped. The driver said he would try to send assistance before driving off, leaving no other vehicles in sight. At that point, everything depended on that truck driver. Connor went back to his vehicle knowing there was no way to tell when help would actually arrive. He set up his tent and a small stove to stay warm overnight, while the frozen water around the vehicle made it impossible to move it. He smoked a few cigarettes to pass the time and later climbed into the tent to try to rest.
Woo! Well guys, that's not exactly how I was planning on my day going. My ship. There's nothing you can do but laugh, I guess. Good night, baby. Hopefully the fuel tank isn't full of water. We got the stove going. We've got a peace offering for any wolves that might come this way. They'll go for the canned food first, so it doesn't flap around, and so air doesn't just waft up into it. And inside, oh, it's nice and warm in here.
The next morning, he finally saw a truck heading toward him. Fortunately, they had come to help.
Hello, dearie. Oh yeah, just my campsite here. Not a problem. Did you hear about me from Eagle? Yeah, I've like sunk my back tire through the ice over there. So the front end is sticking out, but the back end is like below water. This part's like kind of swampy, but it's pretty frozen solid here. They were pretty stoked on my tent. They said if they get me out, they're keeping my tent. I think they're joking, but...
It's on ice, so it's not gonna hurt nothing.
Oh, yeah!
Okay, put it in the gear, bud. We're actually fired up right now. Try everything right out.
Yeah, whatever I did with the keys. Absolute legends over here. Yanked me out. I thought we might lose her there.
This became the ultimate test of reliability. The vehicle still started, even though nearly everything inside was wet. Now, imagine if something like this had happened in a truly remote area, where reaching civilization would require miles of travel through snow and ice. Or worse, if there had been no nearby settlement at all. That situation could have ended in disaster. But thankfully, it didn't turn out that way. The truck driver deserves full credit for keeping his word and sending help to Connor. It is also important to let someone know where you are going, so if you don't return on time, they know where to begin searching. If you were alone in that freezing environment with your vehicle stuck in the ice, what would you have done next? On November 22nd, 2025, the YouTube channel Cabin Life shared a quiet yet unsettling account from an off-grid cabin deep in the wilderness of Ontario, Canada. Glenn, an older man living alone on 40 acres of pine and maple forest, believed he had come there in search of peace. Instead, he found something much closer to fear. The late October air was cold and completely still. He spent time cutting wood for the stove, yet even during simple tasks he felt uneasy, as if someone might be watching from somewhere within the trees. He tried to calm his thoughts. He read by the fire, played his native flute, and tapped rhythms on his tabla drum. Days passed, and the forest remained unusually quiet. Then, near the pond behind the cabin, something shifted. At first it was subtle, a strange sound coming from deeper within the woods. He paused and listened. The wind was still, and no birds were calling. Then it happened again. A sharp noise that didn't sound like wind or branches. He stayed still and listened. He tried to convince himself it was something small, maybe just an animal moving around. Then a louder crack echoed through the forest.
Hello?
A moose, a bear, a lost hunter, or something that didn't belong there at all. The pond no longer felt peaceful. The cabin no longer felt safe. From that moment on, he never fully relaxed again. Because sometimes the most frightening thing isn't what a person sees, it's what they never truly see. If you were alone in a cabin and heard something moving just beyond the trees, would you step outside to check or stay inside and wait? The YouTube channel Jaguar is run by a Russian creator who shares videos about his adventures deep in the Russian taiga. His content focuses on exploring remote forest cabins, building shelters, and documenting wilderness survival in isolated parts of the taiga. In this particular video, which was uploaded on March 2, 2024, he set out to do what he often does during his trips into the forest, spend the night alone in a remote wooden hut far from civilization. But as the day slowly came to an end, something happened that made him begin to feel as though he might not be completely alone in the woods.
Здравствуй, избушка. Крыша не провалилась. Это уже радует. Значит, заночуем сегодня.
He arrived at the forest cabin and dropped off his gear before heading to a nearby frozen lake to try some ice fishing. The quiet taiga landscape around the hut was still, and the frozen lake provided enough fish to last him through the night. After catching what he needed, he returned to the small hut and began preparing the fish for his meal.
Сковорода еще неровно стоит. Точнее, печка.
Once he finished eating, he remained inside the cabin, resting near the stove. It was then that he began hearing unusual sounds.
Хотя печку буду подтапливать ночью. Дрова есть теперь, дров не жалко. Дрова свои. Вот этот звук только что был раза в 2 сильнее.
At one point, the noise seemed like something moving along the wooden planks outside the hut. However, when he looked outside, there was no one there. He did not appear frightened, likely because he is used to spending nights alone in remote survival shelters. But for someone unfamiliar with the wilderness, the experience would probably have felt far more unsettling. If you were spending the night alone in a remote cabin deep in the taiga, and suddenly heard footsteps on the wooden boards outside, would you assume it was just the cabin reacting to the cold? Or would you start wondering if something was actually walking around in the darkness? In this particular video, the situation took an unexpected turn during what was supposed to be a simple fishing and camping trip in a forested river area. Felipe Packer is a Brazilian YouTube channel focused on fishing adventures where a group of friends travel to remote rivers and lakes to catch large fish and spend time outdoors together. Most of their content centers around fishing trips, camping, and enjoying nature. The video was uploaded on February 6, 2024. The group planned a camping trip near a river deep in the forest, which seemed like the perfect place to relax and spend time together. Their plan was straightforward. During the day, they would fish along the river and later cook their catch at the campsite that night. The trip began exactly as they expected.
Ele atacou sim, Thiago. Atacou? Tá seguro, olha a quantidade de peixinho que tem aqui ao redor dele. Tá pegando com ele?
Luck appeared to be on their side from the start. They began catching fish one after another, with each catch seeming larger than the last. The steady fishing action kept their attention focused on the water for hours. Because of this, they barely noticed the sky gradually growing darker as evening approached. That was when the atmosphere slowly began to shift. After catching a particularly large fish, the group decided it was time to return to their campsite. But as they moved along the riverbank, they suddenly noticed something standing directly in their path.
Aqui, olha, o Thiago acabou de ver um bicho pulando ali na água. Ele tá pedindo a lanterna aqui pra gente ver o que é. Pode ser onça. Pegar a arma logo. Se for onça, ela pula dentro da canoa mesmo. Eu ouvi o barulho pra cá, Thiago.
Brilhando ali o olho.
Tá brilhando lá. É uma onça. É uma onça. Vai lá. Deixa eu sair daqui, senão eu vou cair. É uma onça. Alguma coisa tá fugindo dela. Pra tua esquerda, Leandro. Caralho, não chega muito perto, mas. Bem aí, ó. Tava aí nesse clarão aí. Foca bem ali, Thiago. Eu vi um negócio ali nos... Deu pra ver a silhueta. Deu pra ver, parecia um cachorro gigante. Leandro, puxa a porra pra fora. Tu viu que ela parou assim e olhou pra trás? Ela foi lá daquele lado ali, foi?
Eu escutei barulho de água. Alguma coisa caindo na água. Eu tô achando que alguma coisa fugiu dela. Se seguir essa linha aqui, vai dar no acampamento, não dá? Eu acho que é a mesma ilha que...
Right there at the edge of the river, they came face to face with a jaguar. The animal was most likely out hunting. However, its prey had slipped away, possibly because Felipe and his friends were suddenly in the area. For a moment, the jaguar stared directly at them, before slowly retreating back into the forest. But encounters with a predator like that rarely feel finished so quickly. When an animal like a jaguar disappears into the forest, it is impossible to know whether it has truly left the area or if it remains somewhere nearby in the shadows. The group quickly started their engine and returned to their campsite, hoping to create some distance between themselves and the animal. Back at camp, they tried to calm down and began preparing the fish they had caught earlier that day.
Nossa.
E tá cada vez mais perto, tá ouvindo? Cada vez mais perto. Barulho de onça. A gente tá aqui em Laranjal do Jari, no acampamento. A gente ouviu a primeira vez mais longe e agora a segunda vez mais perto.
Then, suddenly, an unsettling sound broke through the quiet night. The sound of the jaguar seemed to be getting closer, slowly moving toward their campsite in the darkness of the forest. It raises the question of whether the animal may have followed them back, keeping its distance because several people were gathered together near the camp. They knew remaining quiet was extremely important. If a jaguar was nearby, wandering into the forest to escape could be extremely dangerous. In some parts of the world, people can unexpectedly cross paths with powerful predators such as jaguars, leopards, or even lions. These animals are highly efficient hunters, fast, strong, and incredibly silent. In the wild, they are capable of attacking before someone even realizes what is happening. Fortunately, in this situation, the jaguar kept its distance. When morning finally arrived, they were able to leave the area safely. If you were camping deep in the forest after coming face to face with a jaguar earlier that night, would you stay until morning, or would you leave the moment you heard it, moving somewhere in the trees?
That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.
It attacked my tent.
Eddie. Be alert, please.
Oh my God!
The wilderness is a wonderful place to escape from everyday life, but isolation also comes with a price. Whether it's a blood-curdling scream echoing through the forest, or a mysterious vehicle stalking you from the shadows by a secluded lake, the rules change when you're alone. If your campsite suddenly turns into a trap, would you trust your instincts and leave? On July 1st, 2021, in Mabua Sehube, Botswana, on the Botswana side of the Kalagadi Transfrontier Park, Robert Hoffmeyer was camping with his brother-in-law, Andy. The camps there were unfenced, meaning wild animals could pass through at any moment. It was their first night. Around 6 a.m., while it was still dark, they stood outside the tent brushing their teeth and preparing coffee. Suddenly, two glowing eyes reflected in the beam of a headlamp. A young male lion stood only about 8 meters away. They rushed to safety as quickly as possible. From inside the vehicle, he grabbed his camera. Then came the moment that made his heart drop. The lion had already walked straight into the tent. Moments later, the animal came out with a pillow held firmly in its mouth.
It was in our tent, and then it came out with sitting under the tree over there.
It settled beneath a nearby tree and slowly chewed on it, the sound of tearing fabric echoing clearly through the quiet camp. After a short pause, the lion turned back again.
I really hope it was your pillow, Andy.
It was.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Mine's a similar color. Yeah, is that yours? It's covered in slobber now. Yeah, that was a bit scary. Okay, now he's gonna go and get my pillow. Oh, my dear. You got snacks.
It returned to the tent and pulled out more items, dragging a sleeping bag across the ground like captured prey. The two men stayed completely still in the car, watching everything unfold.
Oh my goodness. Could you just drive a bit closer, maybe? Just keep an eye out for others.
What unsettled him most later was the timing. If he had not looked up at that exact moment, they might have only noticed the lion when it was already standing right beside them.
Is that I had just happened to look in the direction the lion was approaching from. If I had not looked up, or if he had approached from behind the car or tent.
And running from a lion would have been a very bad decision. They moved the vehicle closer to the tent to block the entrance, but the lion continued circling the area, calm yet curious. When it could no longer get inside, it grabbed a camping chair and dragged it away into the bushes.
The lion continued to circle around the tent, so we moved the car as close as we could to the entrance to the tent to stop him from going in there again. While a lion in one's tent is rare, because uninformed visitors leave taps running or bowls of water out for them, rather than leaving them to live normal lives in their natural habitat. Most visitors sleep in rooftop tents or caravans, so they are relatively safe. Once the lion realized he was blocked from entering the tent, he went and grabbed my camping chair and ran off into the bushes and chewed that for a while. Eventually, the lion got bored of playing with our things and moved off into the darkness.
You messaged it.
We came back a few hours later to assess the damage.
There's Andy's pillow. Got a bit of lion slobber on it. Otherwise, absolutely fine. Your pillow?
I think I can use this again.
Why not? 100%. Let's have a look inside the tent. He's ripped my bag open.
What?
Yeah.
Ripped your bag?
Yeah.
He's not.
The lion kept circling the tent. While a lion entering a tent is unusual, lions often move through camps in the Mabua region. Some visitors leave taps running or place bowls of water outside, unintentionally encouraging animals to return to these unfenced campsites instead of staying within their natural routines. Most travelers sleep in rooftop tents or caravans, which provide better protection. Eventually, after long minutes that felt like hours, the lion disappeared back into the darkness. Later that morning, they checked the damage. The pillow was soaked with lion saliva. The bag had deep tooth marks. The tent fabric showed several small holes. That night, they chose not to sleep in the tent. Instead, they stayed inside the car. Because once a lion has already walked into your tent in the dark, a thin layer of fabric suddenly no longer feels like protection at all. In places where nature still moves freely, a single moment can decide everything. If you had stepped outside that tent and seen those eyes in the dark, what would you have done next? Metro on the Move is a YouTube channel centered on backpacking and hiking trails across the United States. His videos are typically informative and well-produced, but in this particular upload, he captured something that once again could have ended very badly. He was camping in the White Mountains along with several other hikers. It was close to morning when he was suddenly awakened by something hitting the outside of his tent. It did not take long for him to realize that a bear was outside, and it was actively targeting the tent. He immediately started yelling in an attempt to scare it away, and fortunately it worked. At least, at first, the bear backed off, but it did not fully leave the area. That was when he picked up his camera and began recording.
Oh my god, dude. I just got attacked by a bear out here. Oh my god, dude. It's got a claw mark in it. Holy. Oh my god, dude.
Good morning.
Oh my god, dude. That's on my tent, dude. It attacked my tent. Hey! Oh my god.
Look at Paul.
Hey, go! Hey!
Yeah.
Bear!
Bear attacked my tent. Hey guys, wake up, guys.
He's coming to you guys.
Which way?
Throw rocks.
Hit it. Where is it? Up?
Oh, he's there.
Right where?
Bear.
Oh my god.
He's right there, just next to you. That's me. Behind you. Behind you. Yes. No running.
No, I'm getting in the light.
Get out of here, bear.
There he is.
Hey! Hey! Get away! Go!
Eventually, they were able to drive the bear away, but it is still alarming how suddenly it chose to attack. It is unsettling to consider what might have happened if the bear had completely torn through the tent and reached him. Thankfully, he was not alone. Several other campers were nearby, and their presence likely helped intimidate the bear and force it to retreat. As for the person who became curious, walked into the darkness to see where the bear had gone, and then had to run back, that was extremely dangerous. In the end, nothing serious occurred. There were only a few claw marks left on the tent, and a powerful story to tell. Moments like this show how quickly a calm campsite can turn tense when wildlife moves too close to people. If you woke up and heard claws scraping against your tent in the dark, what would you do first? Brian and Marissa are an adventurous couple who share their travels on YouTube, often documenting remote camping trips, hiking rugged trails, and taking on different outdoor challenges. Their content usually focuses on exploring quiet wilderness areas and finding unique places to camp far from crowded campgrounds. But during one trip, what began as a normal remote camping experience turned into something far more unsettling. The video was uploaded on March 6, 2026. They spent most of the day driving along back roads searching for a secluded campsite. Deep in the Willpaw Hills, after hours of exploring remote trails and forest roads, they eventually found a quiet lakeside spot that looked ideal for camping. The location felt peaceful and isolated, exactly the kind of place many campers hope to discover when exploring the wilderness.
When you forget your level in Jacksonville, you find a brick.
When? We're camping there. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
She says she's the boss. So get set up.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
They began setting up camp, and everything seemed completely normal. As night fell, they prepared their meals and relaxed after the long drive. Later in the evening, they climbed into their rooftop tent, ready to sleep after a full day of exploring the remote area. But during the night, the situation suddenly shifted, and something unusual began happening around their campsite.
This guy has just pulled up right next to the car,
They run over our light? What'd they do to it?
It's just cracked and...
No, I meant the GoPro.
I don't know. It was turned around this direction, but they were getting water from a beer can out of here and filling their car with it.
It's, what, 12:30?
Yeah. A car came, like, barreling in here.
He went flying in and went right here. Ran over our light. And they were doing something here.
And our GoPro was over here.
Yeah.
And then I heard another door. So I walked down to the end of the road, and there's a car just sitting there. So I don't know how long it's been there for.
Are we packing up?
Yes, I don't feel safe here. So.
Not long afterward, they decided to pack up and leave. The decision became even more clear when they noticed another vehicle parked quietly nearby with its lights turned off. The situation felt strange because people usually avoid pulling directly next to a vehicle that is already camping in an isolated area. These individuals, however, did not seem concerned about that at all. From what they could see, the people appeared to be pretending to collect water from the lake. It raised the possibility that they were checking whether anyone was inside the vehicle or possibly doing something else entirely. The behavior felt suspicious enough that staying there no longer seemed like a safe choice. They chose not to remain long enough to find out exactly what those people were doing. In remote camping locations, trusting your instincts can sometimes be the most important safety decision. If you were camping alone at a quiet lakeside campsite, and strangers suddenly arrived in the middle of the night, would you stay and wait to see what happens or leave before things become more dangerous? Dee's Dark Adventures is a YouTube channel run by outdoor explorer and solo night walker Dee, a creator known for documenting quiet night hikes through forests, parks, and isolated trails after sunset. On August 11, 2023, Dee set out to explore a wooded park she had visited many times before. What began as a familiar evening hike soon shifted when she discovered a narrow side trail branching away from a bike path deep inside the forest. Curious about the unfamiliar route, she chose to continue down the remote trail, unaware that the quiet forest walk would soon turn into something far more unsettling.
Oh God, like it's so eerie right where I'm at. Like, I hear crickets and stuff. That was metal. I've never been on this trail before. Not familiar with it, so I'm a little weary here. It's gravel at one point, and just dirt now. I heard a whistle. I just heard a whistle. Oh, see? You can't see anything.
As the evening progressed, the atmosphere along the trail slowly began to change. Fog thickened between the trees, softening the distance and distorting the shapes of branches and shadows around her. The deeper she moved into the woods, the more the forest seemed to close in around the narrow path. Then a faint sound broke the silence from somewhere inside the tree line. First came a light whistle echoing through the forest, followed by the clear snapping of sticks underfoot. Determined to see what might be beyond the tree line, Dee continued deeper into the woods, unaware that the situation ahead was becoming more disturbing.
Who's out here with me? Ooh, doggy. But I haven't really ran into any. Look. See, man, I'm done with it. No. Stop a minute. I heard something walking behind me there, and now it's on my left side. It was on my right. Let's just keep listening. I don't know what else to do. I'm not going to entertain it. Gotta keep following me, whatever it is.
As she moved farther along the narrow forest trail, the faint snapping of twigs echoed somewhere behind her. Moments later, a distant shout suddenly cut through the trees before fading back into silence. The sound did not seem human. It also did not resemble the movement of an animal. Standing alone in the middle of the forest, Dee suddenly began to run. Her heart pounded as she rushed through the darkness, trying to reach safety beyond the trees. Although Dee managed to escape the woods that night, the questions surrounding the encounter never truly disappeared. Whatever had been moving through the forest remained hidden in the darkness,